Okay guys, so we are now on the Circle on cruise. We've literally just left after a half an hour of talking absolute bollocks.
Below that building, you see where
We're
there's a
moving
dim
now.
clearing in Hamilton Park. That's your hint.
It's educational to stupid people that don't know shit. For a man like myself, big bad bass, education is what I am.
Everything is legal in New Jersey.
I am the education.
Not dueling, not anymore. The locals know everything is treated as legal in Greenwich Village. To your left, Pier 86, the USS Intrepid is a museum in its retirement. The last carrier built by the United States to re-enter World War II, considered the most heavily damaged ship that survives the war for the Allies today. Stretched her 60 feet for jets, she goes on to serve
I'm
in the
going
Korean
out.
Vietnam War.
Let's go.
Recovers Mercury and Gemini astronauts, and now the centerpiece of a Sea, Air, and Space Museum. Out of that big white 2010, the Space Shuttle prototype, Enterprise. You better begin with no one's gone before. The downstairs outside decks, at least the bow.
Mostly American people, they don't like seagulls, you know.
The Concorde is a freshly restored museum piece. It looks better than new. The Concorde was supposed to put the ocean liner out of business. The Concorde is a museum piece that fight years after the liners are out the ocean fast. Below the Concorde's tail, on the corner of that pier, that's a chunk of World Trade Center steel. It is cut in a specific size and shape. You can create the silhouette of the Twin Towers for your skyline photo using actual World Trade Center steel. Beyond the Concorde, beyond the white piers, you will glimpse the rusty brown Pier 92. Just the tip of it, subtract 40, Pier 92, West 52nd Street. 4 blocks in, Colbert does the late show. Left of that, in the middle of the river, is where Sullivan Skiles landed the jet plane roughly 16 years ago. So to your right, Hudson Runway 1.
Yeah, it will be. Just
Strictly permits to be
anything else, it's going to help your brain figure out what's going on. Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, lean over the edge. So yeah, you're okay though, you guys.
Over your left shoulder, behind us is Pier 81. And then by that billboard, the North River Lobster Company boat is the smallest you see here. Kingdoms rise and fall, colonies become countries, naming on a nautical chart is forever. Go ahead, call it the Hudson. Who does it? Nautical charts do. The northern boundary of the territory the Dutch claimed. It's the North River. Also, briefly, you do see Empire. The top looks like a 1930s rocket ship. On your left, it's above the ferry terminal. On the water above the glass terminal, brown brick removers. On the right, same but 1/3 wider brown brick removers. The air vents for the Batcave. No, the Lincoln Tunnel. I'm not joking. It's the drawings of cars coming out of the proposed tunnel in newspapers that inspired 2 Bronx teenagers. Bob Kane and Bill Finger launched Batman May of '39. The world's busiest tunnel, more than 80,000 vehicles daily. Daily, 1.2 million vehicles enter Manhattan and then try to park. It has as many parking places. To our left, it's a pier of beams. Blue and gold at the bottom there. Pier 76, former home of the United States Lines ocean liner. They're fixing it to tow it to sink it. It's about to become the world's largest artificial reef off Florida, breaking our hearts here. When I arrived in '85, hearts were broken. That was the tow pound. Illegally parked vehicles in Midtown got towed there. And during the pandemic, the pound became the park. Behind it, black and gray glass, the Jacob Javits Convention Center. How do you get 5 blocks of exhibit space between 4 streets? Be multi-level. City of skyscrapers, we're used to it. Midwest conventioneers prefer Vegas. 2 levels is easier to use. The cluster of new skyscrapers to your left is called Hudson Yards. They're not on land. Technically, they're on a platform on stilts over Penn Station storage tracks. Luxury hotel, luxury residential, high-end corporate, climbable art in the middle of it is called the Vessel. stairs going down,
It's
stairs
fast
going
enough
around,
boat.
stairs going nowhere.
Fair enough.
I'm not like the others. I go against the curve. Oh, that's a head car.
Over your right shoulder, about mid-hip
People
now,
are just
blue
fucking,
UBS bank building. Condos below it, bottom right, the remains of Lincoln Harbor. Superstorm Sandy destroyed it October 29, 2012, the day after my last day of the season. 24 years next September 11th, I have the day off. My co-workers evacuated more than 40,000 people from Manhattan to that arena under 6 hours half-staffed. Our union moved more than Dunkirk in a day. August 14, 2003, the Northeast electrical blackout. I have the day off. Circle Line evacuates more than 8,000. January 15, 2009, behind us, Sully and Skiles landed the stricken jet plane. That sight you don't forget. This boat was used to coordinate the rescue. I recognized it right away on the news. I have the day off. Aren't you glad I'm here? There's Empire again on your left. Pretty much every time you see it, it looks the same height. Because almost in terms of length and width, it's almost dead center of Manhattan Island. 34th Street, 5th Avenue. We're coming up on 23rd Street now. The island gets narrower, so just remember, 12th Avenue merges with 11th. They merge with 10th here, and this is where we give up and we call it the West Side Highway. There's a poem you'll hear, a certain time of the year. It's called A Visit from St. Nicholas. 3 streets in, or 3 avenues in, from the dinner boats to your left, used to be a family farm / seminary school. Your owner-operator, Clement Clark Moore. You think the poem is called "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and all through the house, and did you ever once think of Manhattan Island, New York City, when you thought or heard of it?
Another thing about this, it says you're not allowed to vape on the boat.
The 4-level golf driving range.
Obviously, they knew I was coming, so they put a fucking blind spot from me, right? So this is what I have a sus. So there's the camera there, and then you stand here, right? And that black fucking thing there just covers the camera. That's the ballyak coming out from there now. So keep your eyes peeled at all times.
The man who owned the Rangers was from Texas. It was a joke to call them Texas Rangers. That's literally how they got their name.
Yeah, man.
You're right. Premier Engineering School, the Stevens Institute of Technology.
I wonder if Kayla will actually progress outside
Inside
there.
Hamilton, Colonel John Stevens served as General Washington's treasurer. Later built
It's actually, I thought it was going to be a lot more
and the
rocky.
U.S. Navy ship in service today
all
had
right.
its hull design tested in the tanks there. To your left, it looks like a concrete tulip garden. That's a park called Little Island. Thomas Heatherwick, the architect engineer, did the climbable art of the vessel at Hudson Yards. His go-to move is a wavy motion in his art and architecture. The fireboat, the 343, named for the number of firefighters lost September 11th. The park entrance is a rusty arch. It used to be under the rust you could read Cunard White Star Line. Pier 54 and 14th Street, where the Titanic was supposed to dock. Park gate here brought the survivors and where the Lusitania left from. Noticing a trend? I had the day off.
So that's more days off to fucking Santa Claus himself.
You take digital images with your precious device.
Oh no, here's the Circle Line guy.
My precious. To your left, it's done 10 going on the water. The flagpole is empty. Your device and moon landing tech originates there. First
So he walks
transistor, first telecommunications satellite, first talking motion picture soundtrack recorded in the theater there. The first touch-tone dialing, first transatlantic dialing. Bell Labs once, today the West Beth Apartment and Theater Complex. West Side Highway, Bethune Street corner, West Beth. On your right is Hoboken, New Jersey. The W Hotel has a blue W on top. And honoring old Blue Eyes, the pier with the snow-covered gazebo and trees, Francis Albert Sinatra Park. Sinatra and baseball, born in Hoboken. Your cake boss, Buddy Balestro, selling goods from Earl's Bakery. Brown like a penny, turning green like Lady Liberty. The old Erie Lackawanna Terminal to your right. Past the clock tower and the last ferry boat, Hoboken ends. Tall buildings on your right, all modern, Jersey City begins. The white sculpture titled The Water's Soul. So here's Greenwich Village to your left. Let me guide you. Midtown is easy to master. Avenues go north and south. Cross streets go east or west off 5th Avenue. In the village, remember that West 4th Street crosses West 10th Street. That Waverly Place crosses the street named Waverly Place. That Sheridan Square is a triangle? All true. On your left, Pier 40, when Neil Diamond wrote and sang Coming to America, he was describing his future 14-year-old grandmother's voyage from Kiev to that pier. Today. A community park and a parking lot. What's 40 minus 40? Right, Houston Street. Spelled like Houston. He pronounced it Houston. It was a wedding gift. He was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. William John Houston. New York, the first U.S. capital. General Washington sworn in as president on Wall Street. Take a map or a nap. Lower Manhattan's names, not numbers, nothing alphabetic or numeric to guide you. Left and right, we sail between the vents in the Holland Tunnel, so a quick breather. Tallest structure in the U.S. coming up on the left. New One World Trade, we'll pick it up there. Any questions? Even if you don't, my name's David.
Good cat, Leo. Come on inside. Right, come on inside. There's the statue of Liberty there. Because it does get breezy.
I'll bind the numbers. 2 times 4 is 8. The reason there are 8 triangular walls on New One World Trade, it's 1 triangle for each side of the Twin Towers. When the center triangular wall is the arrow pointing straight up, and you see only a half triangle either side, the walls are revealed as parallel. Every floor, same square space you can lease. Simultaneously, the tower is a larger-than-life abstract sculpture of the Statue of Liberty. Its pedestal and hers are the same height. The spire at the top represents her raised right arm and torch. From the ground to the tip of the flame, 76 feet tall. But watch your perspective change. The center triangular wall becomes the arrow pointing straight down. When there's only 1 triangle either side, the bottom of the tower looks wider than the top. It isn't. It's an optical illusion representing the statue in an abstract artwork. Take away the spire, what remains of tower, their average height. To the right of it, the empty sky is where they stood 24 years ago this moment. A single eye flossed is an irreplaceable treasure. The true cost of the day, incalculable and still rising. Please remember, this area loses a first responder who survived that day, on average 1 every 12 days. It's 24 years later, the cost still rises. On the right, the tallest buildings in the state of New Jersey. Right of the Colgate clock, the silver glass is the second tallest. Goldman Sachs got tax breaks to stay in New York City. They subleased most of that business building to others. Right of that is residential, beige and glass, 99 Hudson. Luxury condominiums sell for over $1 million. But you're worth it. The abandoned Irish Springs Salt Factory in Jersey City is cheaper to develop than New York City. Tax rate on the right is cheaper. Vacant space you can custom build. Remember, Manhattan Island. Your space is limited, expensive, frequently infrastructure. Ancient.
Beautiful.
Without the tax breaks, where's your incentive to stay? Industry's been forced from both cities since World War II, quoting economic analyst Bruce Springsteen. You see how you're going, boys, and they ain't coming back to your home. There's going to be left with the same white-collar corporate tax rates for business workers.
That would have been a lot more rock over there. It's actually, guys, it's actually a smooth ride right now.
Over your left shoulder now, there's a big rate crane in a V shape. One-story fort, the American flag is flying in Castle Clinton or Castle Gardens. It's Castle Clinton. The fort never fired a shot. It used to be on a separate man-made island. Sold to the city for $1. The old Army fort renamed Castle Gardens was the first immigration center. Between 1846 and 1892, more than 8 million future Americans squeezed through. Above that fort, it's the long gray building, not tall at all. There's pink shingles and green trim. The Alexander Hamilton Customs House is on the original shore. There, natives traded. There, Hamilton stole cannons from a British fort. Today, the Museum of the American Indian calls part home.
It's behind it, yeah.
Broadway behind it is Shorewalk up Broadway. Broadway and Twain Street, the African slave burial grounds.
That's the island there.
Enslaved
Staten
peoples built
Island.
New Amsterdam, the Dutch colony that became a city. Any ethnic group from the Western Hemisphere, 4 of the world's major religions, all of our nation's veterans back to the Revolution, have a monument or connection in or near Battery Park, Bowling Green. Get out of Midtown, come downtown. Come explore the city's roots. Discover your own. And to the right now comes Ellis Island, which has an immigration center, closed in 1954. But at least 38% of the U.S. population traces one or more relatives back to it. Samuel Ellis, a London-born butcher, came to the colony. Life good, business better. Daughter married a British officer. Sam Ellis buys his family a 3-acre picnic island. In 1775, come the revolution, back family or independence. He wants independence. Could you war against your son-in-law, breaking your daughter's heart? He sides with family, not popular after. He went back to England. Granddaughter sold the island to the new government. New York's 4, 5, and 6 subway are eldest. Where did all the dirt debris go? Ellis Island more than 9 times bigger. We see version 3, built to process 5,000 a day. Versions 1 and 2 destroyed by fire. By 1909, it's 6 years old and obsolete. More than 10,000 daily arrive. Your ship might wait 3 days for your turn. Would you pass? Your babies, elderly relatives. More than 98% got in. What if your family was split forever? Or what if you worked there and you had to split up a family forever? What keeps you up at night? Closed in 54, President Lyndon Johnson landmarked it 1964. Nobody wanted him to get credit. We almost lost it. To take politics out of it, a private foundation, public donations made Ellis Island the Museum of American Immigration, which opened in 1986. Now they say the average woman is 5'6" tall. Clearly above average. Enlarge yourself 2019 times. You're the same size as Lady Liberty. Reach into your pockets, pull out 2 copper coins, what we call pennies, pinch them together like they're a sandwich. All 314 sheets of Norwegian copper are 2 pennies thick. They're all hammered by hand to these shapes over negative wood molds. Did you know that it costs now more than 3 cents to make a 1-cent coin? Even though today's U.S. penny is more than 98% zinc, we lose money. Most countries have given up. You would need more than 32 million pennies just to have enough copper. You would need more than 74 million US dollars to duplicate her. Ball shots. Have you seen the lights? In her right hand, a torch. That's copper, like the rest of her, 2 pennies thick. The flame is covered in 24-karat gold leaf that is thinner than a sheet of newspaper, reflecting sunlight or spotlight.
Okay, you ready?
Smart enough to bring a torch, you will not stumble in the dark.
Okay, guys.
The proper title of the sculpture is Liberty Enlightening the World.
Goodbye.
Our world has
Big
7
bad bass.
continents.